Welcome, everybody. My name is Garrett Sussman. I'm the Senior Content Marketing Manager at Great. And today we are hosting a webinar with the co-founders of Reputation Loop, the 5-day proof of concept for selling review management. Jeff Schwert and Zach Anderson are joining us, and they're going to go through their strategy of how to sell review management to your local business customers. Now, next slide, Jeff. A little bit of context with Reputation Loop. They are one of a variety of companies that were acquired by the Alpine Software Group. Great was actually acquired last year. So we're all now part of this Martech, Alpine Software Group, Martech. And as such, Jeff and Zach are working with Great to really bring their expertise, their knowledge of this local review management space and the software that they've built, and kind of integrating it with Great. So I'm going to let Jeff take it away from here, and he is going to dive into the 5-day proof of concept. One last thing, we will be taking questions and answers at the end, so stick to the end if you have any specific questions about how you can sell review management. Jeff and Zach will have the answers. So Jeff, over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Garrett. Thanks everybody joining us. Thanks for everybody that's going to be watching this here on the replay. This is obviously a little bit different of a webinar because you've got us coming in here. We've been working behind the scenes with Great.us for the last several months as we align platforms and start moving and merging our customers into the Great.us platform. As we were talking with Garrett and the team and what we were doing with the merge of these two platforms, basically aligning ours into Great.us, what we really came across was there's some things that we could help benefit agencies on the Great.us side, and Garrett asked us to come on and give this presentation to you guys. So you're in for a real treat today. Our agencies love this. They are implementing it right now. They've been doing it for the last 12 to 14 months or so inside their own businesses with some really great success. So before I dive into the training and walk you guys through and realize as we go through this, it's 100% training today. I'm going to give you exactly what we're doing and what we were selling as an angle for Reputation Loop to our agencies. So for Zach and myself, I'm the guy on the left. I'm Jeff Schwert. The looking guy on the right is my business partner in Reputation Loop that we started, Zach Anderson. We started working with local businesses over 10 years ago, back since 2008. We have offices in Scottsdale, Arizona, which is me, and San Diego, California, which is Zach. Our motto when we started this company and all the way through is keep it small, keep it all. We want to have a lean, efficient, basically business model that was able to be built off of processes and systems that we could duplicate easy and then have team members go out there and replicate. Our focus has always been to automate and scale to be able to serve a lot of people and make a good profit coming in and have a high profit margin. And our family and lifestyle are important to us. As a matter of fact, I'm going to 4 or 5 different places in the next month. I know Zach's going and traveling for a bit this summer as well. And we like to spend time with our family and golf and do all that. And that's part of that lifestyle that agencies and digital agencies are really into and that you guys like. So let's tell you guys this because we align very, very well and we understand where you guys are at and your pain points in your business because we both have digital agencies that sell to local businesses as well. So I'll ask a couple of questions before we get started here. And we'll kind of go through these. So you guys will reply to these as we go. How many folks here have at least 5 clients that you provide digital services for? Type in a yes if you do and no if you don't have an agency that big. And normally what we see here, and we're going to see it again right now, is we have about a 60-40, 50-50 split on that for, there's a lot of agencies that are just trying to get started. You're just trying to get your first 4 5 clients where you kind of break even and you're starting to see that this is something that you can do for yourself and your business. And then there's a lot of you that I can see that are typing in no as well, because you don't have an agency that big, or you're trying to get there, or maybe you're a 0 agency, you're just getting started trying this out. Well, guys, the question, if you typed in no, is why haven't you closed more deals? What do you think the hurdle, the barrier for you is to be able to not close at least 5 deals in your digital agency? You guys type it in here for a second. All right, so we get normally answers and we're seeing them again here. I don't have a system. I don't have a process to be able to do that, or not sure how to approach a lead or what my sales funnel is. Those are a lot of common things that we do see. We're going to tackle a lot of those guys today. So whether you answered yes or no, the question I have here is who here on this call today, there's a lot of you guys on this call, would like a faster and more cost-effective way to close more deals and build a monthly recurring revenue source from your digital agency? Type in a yes if you want that. So if you guys said yeah, so it's starting to light up. I can see all the answers coming in. Yes, absolutely, for sure. So guys, our goal today is simple. You joined us today to show you guys how we get in the foot in the door and use our 5-day proof of concept technique to pre-qualify and close customers. Those are some key factors right there, and then demonstrate the software that we leverage to do it. And the software where we demonstrate to you is going to be Grey.us and how you guys can use that inside of that. So you guys, a lot of you already have that in your agencies here. So here's what we'd like to do in the next hour, if that's okay with you. What you're about to learn is in this multi-part training is number one, in part one, how to leverage a digital service that is not optional for business owners. Now, a few years ago, you could have argued that this may have been something that was optional. It is no longer optional, and I'll cover that here in just a few minutes. Part two, how we can guarantee a yes from almost every business owner we talk to. Part three, how to easily qualify and convert a prospect. Part four, how to leverage technology to automate most or all of the process. And part five, how to use this to build recurring revenue and sales, which is key. Basically, you want to be generating revenue so you have money coming in on a regular basis so you can go do the things that you want to do and know that you're not hunting to kill your next meal. So in part one, how to leverage a digital service that is not optional. First of all, the digital service you're talking about is online reviews. And you guys get that because you're in the Grey.us platform. Why online reviews matter more today than ever before? Because whether you guys like it or use online reviews personally, they must be an integral part of your marketing strategy for your clients. Consumers love online reviews and they use them daily. Think about yourself and what you're doing. They use them daily to gain insight, everything from Amazon products to accountants to doctors. For me, hotels and flights, restaurants, dealerships, and you're going through and you're looking, and some people are leaving those reviews. If you are not using them, you are definitely not on the internet and you're not shopping and you're not going anywhere because reviews are everywhere across the internet. It is now an integral part of shopping and looking and searching online. As a matter of fact, 86% of consumers read local reviews for business. Now, this is a Bright Local Survey, consumer survey from 2018. You guys can see that a lot of consumers are using reviews. Basically 8.5 or 9 out of 10 read local reviews. And positive reviews make more than 2/3, 68% of consumers trust a business more. They want to see those positive reviews. And 57%, more than half, need at least a 4-star rating. So if you are looking at prospects or if you're looking for a business to work with yourself, if they have less than a 4, are you potentially going to go somewhere else? A lot of cases, yes. So that is a huge pool of leads for you guys to go after because if they don't have a 4-star rating, more than half of the customers that are potentially looking at them aren't even going to give them a chance. 86% of consumers think that reviews older than 3 months aren't relevant. This would be a key thing here as we go through this process, because if they're not recent reviews in the last 3 months, they're also being ignored because they could have been 6 months ago, 19 months ago, and business could have changed or something could have happened. So let's talk a little bit about local search factors and what Google looks at when they're looking at a business with Google My Business and everything that's all taken into the all-encompassing factors of this. First of all, they look at location proximity, the distance of how far the potential search result is from the device. So what they're doing is they're looking at your IP address on a computer, on your mobile device, your tablet, your iPhone, your Android device, your Google Pixel, whatever it is. They're looking to see where you are in relation to the nearest solution to the problem that you're searching for. So if you're searching for a vet, if you're searching for a doctor, if you're searching for a place to get your hair cut, you're going to give them somewhere closer to you. And you guys all seen this, and they've gotten really good at that over the last several years. And then, is it relevant to the search? Does the search result match what is typed in? Obviously, that's pretty simple right there. The next one here, is the business prominent? Based on the information that Google has about the business across the web, like links, articles, directories, and then even the Google review count and score are factored into local search rankings. So that means that reviews are not optional. The more reviews and positive ratings they have, that will help improve the business's local rankings. And it's been proven over and over again. Now, online reviews matter a lot. And we talked about this several years ago in our platform. I call it the 3 R's to online reviews. They must be real, recent, and relevant. What that means is they must be from real users, and Google's gotten away from all the anonymous reviews and things like that. They're basically purging those out of the system. A lot of the other sites need you and require you to log in to know that you have a real profile. They must be recent within the last 3 months, and they must be relevant to what that search is. So if somebody's talking about an auto mechanic, but they're on a hair salon site, that's not going to be a relevant review. And the quality and quantity of the reviews are also taken into consideration. So these are the factors that you guys need to look at when you're talking to your prospects, when you're looking at how you're positioning your packages and your offers, of how you're going to get real, recent, relevant reviews for your customers. Now, which sites should you focus on for review generation? For the 5-day proof of concept, we focus on one site, and that's Google, because it is the one that almost every single business has an account for. They have a Google My Business account, they understand it, they have a relationship with them, and they know what they're doing when it comes to logging into the Google account and setting things up. And it's the most prominent, obviously, when you come down the search engine. So when we're going to Google, now we're looking to find, hey, how do we get that yes to get the business owner, get them reviews on Google to show them that we can actually do this for their business and generate them those online reviews, which helps boost their ranking, which helps get phone calls and prospects. So how can we guarantee a yes from almost every business owner? You guys like to know exactly how we position our quote unquote offer. This is the cornerstone offer that Zach and I offered during this process when we narrowed down our proof of concept from 30 down to 14, down to 10 to 7, and then all the way down to 5 days and compressed our sales cycle. Type in a yes if you guys like to know exactly how we position that offer. All right, I see the thing will beep it up here. So you can see you guys are typing in yes as we go. Absolutely. All right, thanks guys. All right, get a pen and paper, write this down, take a screenshot. This will be on the replay as well. Could you learn and repeat this elevator pitch? This is literally the 2 sentences that you need to memorize to be able to sell and pitch what we're talking about today. It is this simple. We help create more reviews for your business online. Give us 5 days and you'll see results. It's that simple. That is how we guarantee yes from almost every single business owner. I'm going to talk about the different psychology pieces behind this in a little bit, but if you can write this down, memorize it, we help create more reviews for your business online. Give us 5 days and you'll see results. It's that simple. This allows you to do several things in this process. So I'll bring this back up later on again if you guys haven't written it down, but we help create more reviews for your business online. Give us 5 days and you'll see results. That's simple. You literally go to any chamber event, you can literally meet somebody in an elevator and tell them what you do. If somebody asks you, what do you do for your business? You don't have to fumble and say, oh, I got a digital agency or whatever. We help create more reviews for businesses online. Give us 5 days, you'll see results. That's simple. And then you can literally get a yes or no at that point. Or, hey, how do you do that? Or I'm more interested. Can you tell me more about that? You're piquing their interest with that. But with all of that, I'm going to give you your best chance to kill it by going out there after the traffic that's setting up. And we're going to use and leverage the law of reciprocity in this process in that 5-day proof of concept that we're talking about. Now, your best chance to run traffic and get people into your sales funnel and to run this 5-day proof of concept, we're going to go from good to better to best, right? Good, you can run online ads via Google, Facebook, Instagram, send them to your landing page, maybe give them something away or tell them what they're going to do and get their information. But it's distant, it's cold. And yes, they're searching for you, but they're looking at 15 other things. Another way, and Zach and I have done this really well before, is cold email prospecting. And one by one or in mass, finding a solution where you're basically reaching out, asking a business if they like more reviews, asking them a question, would you like more customers, would you like more leads on a regular basis? It is pretty good, but that you go through that process where you have to then cold outreach, have them come back and go through, and it works. Better is online webinars or one-on-one screen share demos. Now, those are great when you get a large group. With the one-on-one screen share demos, we have our sales team that we had doing these kind of things, and it takes some time. They got to follow up and do all that. But if you want to get the quicker results, the better results, what do local business owners like? They like to know that you're in their local area, that they can come by and stop by and see you, or they think that they can go by and see you. They're never going to come by. They can shake your hand, you're face to face, because they do business face to face with their clients as well. In the digital space, we get so used to being in our own distant areas that we forget that the business owners want to see somebody. So in person at a trade show or an event booth or a chamber event or something like that works really well because you can use that elevator pitch that we just talked about. Even best, speaking in front of a live group, an event, a chamber, a networking group, positioning why reviews matter today more than ever before works really, really well because not only are you showing up and providing value up front, but you're introduced as an authority in the space. So you come in with leverage showing that, hey, this person knows what they're talking about. They've been invited by the moderator of the group or the group itself or whatever it is to present on this topic. That gets your foot in the door and allows you to give something a little bit away for free. Now, the psychology behind the concept is we use a no risk trial and the law of reciprocity to get that yes from almost every single business owner. So here's how you position the proof of concept and set yourself up for success. First of all, simple sells, basic blocking and tackling. And we talked about this in our business together for several years. You want to stay laser focused and you want to keep simple pricing models. I do the same thing in my agency today. We stay focused on just one thing that we're selling and we have simple pricing models so it's easy to understand. So that way you're not talking about money and pricing to a business. They get what your package is and they know exactly what it's going to cost. We use our 10-second elevator pitch. I mean, guys, how hard is it to give away something for free? You're going to say, hey, look, give me 5 days. I'll work for you and I'll generate you more online reviews at absolutely no risk. What business owner wouldn't like to at least see you try? I mean, I met with one of the biggest flooring companies in my state, and it was on a no-risk trial to him. And he was like, well, it doesn't cost me anything. No one gets in his door. No one gets a face-to-face meeting with him, but I was able to because I was giving him something away for free instead of asking for something face-to-face. And then you let the product sell itself. We're going to show you guys how to use the 5-day proof of concept with Grade.us and the platform and how really stupid simple it is to do this because reviews aren't optional. And we don't give them a login to any of the platforms or anything. We ask them for one simple thing. If they can't do it, they don't meet our criteria. It's literally that simple of a process. And then they start seeing the reviews come in their Google My Business. They start getting the email alerts or it pops up on their site or they start seeing more on their Google search. Because reviews aren't optional. We've already talked about this. And then they start asking, well, how much is it going to cost or what things are going to do? In this process, in the 5-day proof of concept, in the trial period, the initial 5 days, it's absolutely free today. We're going to sit down in 5 days. Let me see that I can get you results. And then we're going to come back and sit down and go through that process. Now, part 3 is very, very key here because this actually puts you in the position of power over the business owner. And we're going to show you how to easily qualify and convert a prospect. So what exactly qualifies a prospect of somebody that you want to work with or that makes them a good potential client or customer of yours? So don't make things hard on yourself. You want to decide who you want to be the customer. You can say yes or no, because if somebody keeps harassing you every single day, if they haven't paid you money yet, you have no problem walking away and saying, sorry, this isn't a good fit for us, or I don't think I'm going to get you the results that I want, and then you can walk away. But the thing is, when I look at a customer and set up of am I going to work with them or am I going to be happy working with them or how this is going to go, I basically say, can I answer yes to these 3 simple questions? And write this down, guys. Number 1, are they easy to work with? We recently had a carpet cleaning guy come to my office, and he's been very, very difficult to work with. Where he asks for one thing, changes his mind, and does something, and we basically said this guy doesn't fit the model. He is not somebody that is easy to work with. Because he's calling and changing his mind, or he'll even call my office manager and he'll ask for something different. And we've had to basically put our foot down and say, sorry, you don't meet our criteria and move on. Number 2, can they get me the one thing that I need for them? For the 5-day proof of concept, here's the one thing that you need. You need a list of their most recent customers. So restaurants, this may not be a great fit for because they don't necessarily have a list of most customers. Doctors, dentists, dealerships, accountants, anybody that has a high turnover, especially during certain times of year, HVAC, mobile detailing, those are all great industries to go after. All we do is say, hey, look, all I need is a list of your most recent 30, 60, 90 customers. And the reason why I say 30, 60, 90 is depending on how busy they are. Obviously, the more you can get, the better, because you're going to get them better results. But you want to make sure that you can get them the results, because you want to see them getting those results. The hottest leads are going to be, the hottest customers are going to be within 30 to 45 days, because they remember their experience. And then the last thing is, am I able to get them the results that I promised? What we're doing with this process is we're telling them, give us 5 days, we're going to get your results. Here's what I need from you. I need a list of your most recent 30 customers. I'm going to put them into my system. I'm going to send out a feedback request to be able to see if they're happy or not, and then get them to go to Google to leave you an online review. If you do this and their list isn't responsive, or they're just not leaving reviews, then this might not be a good fit or good industry or locale for you, because you don't have to necessarily work in your own town, but this might not be a location that's really prominent on using reviews for going online and leaving reviews for their customers in that specific industry. So if that doesn't work and you can't get the results you promised, then they're not a good fit. But if they're easy to work with, which means they get you their stuff, they're not harassing you, and they understand what you're doing, you can get the list of recent customers, and then you can get the results. That are the 3 yeses that I need to say that this is somebody that I would like as a prospect to turn into. Because what's the number one factor for success? It's execution. If you can't execute a game plan, you're not going anywhere. You can basically do paralysis by analysis, set everything up, try to create all these things. But if you can just do these few simple steps, you guys are going to see results. So here's your steps to qualifying and closing a prospect. First of all, step 1, you just set up a system to ask their recent customers for a review. So you need to set up that system so that there's something in place. And that's going to be Grade.us on the platform. We're going to show you how to do that here in just a little bit. Step 2, that we just talked about, you get a list of the past 14, 30, 60, 90 days of customers, depending on the overall scope. Obviously, the more, the better that you can get them. You're going to get them quicker results. Upload this list to your quote-unquote system to ask for reviews. We always talk about the black box, right? Black box in, black box out. When you're talking to these guys for the first time, you don't need to describe everything that you do and all this other stuff. You need to literally just say, hey, look, we're going to put it in our system. We're going to upload your customers. We're going to ask them for reviews, and we're going to get you guys reviews online. And then you offer them the same service after this 5-day period that you just did for free for your price, to continue on to see reviews coming in for their future customers, because you've proven your value and you've given them results. Now, a lot of people will say, well, you just give it to them for free. Why are they going to pay you? Because they want it to keep coming. You've given them a taste of the number of reviews that you can generate for them. And then you're going to do this on a regular basis for them to have new reviews coming in. Remember, they need to be real, recent, and relevant. So you're going to do that for your prospects. Now, the key here, and this is why we do it within 5 days, basically 1 business week, is to show your customers results fast. So to do that, you have to automate the process, and you have to have a system in place. So we're going to show you here in part 4 how we use technology to automate most or even all of the process. And with that, you guys want to see the system that we use to close deals. Type in a yes in the box, in the chat box here, and I'll hand it over to Garrett. I'm going to have him log in and show you the system and what we do. All right, we got some yeses coming in. All right, you guys are live. So Garrett, do you want to take the screen over from here?
Awesome, Jeff. Yeah, that sounds great. Perfect. Yeah, I will take over. Awesome strategy. And I think everyone here really appreciates kind of the key. It's interesting with all the bells and whistles, to your point, that Grade.us offers. The key is the simplicity, right? Is really focusing in on what you're going to deliver. And so when you're looking at how Grade.us actually operates, the key is making it as simple as possible. If you're going to be doing this for a bunch of customers, you don't want to spend a ton of time setting up the system. And so with Grade.us, we make it really easy, really streamlined. Once you even get your first one set up, it's that much easier for you to just duplicate existing templates. So what we're looking at here is a little under the hood, behind the scenes, what you're going to be setting up for these clients that have given you the opportunity and say they want to try you out. So I have an example of the review funnel, landing funnel, and especially when we're focusing on Google, for instance, and we can even remove Facebook from here, we're going to remove any sort of segmentation. So when they come to this review funnel, they're just going to be going straight to Google. No distractions. We're just going to get them Google reviews. Now, down the line, in terms of retention and after this first 5-day proof of concept, then you might start to focus on some of the other review sites. But right now, it's all about Google. So the way we're going to set this up is I'm going to create a brand new business. I'm going to say, you know, I've got my Rocky Hill Inn, which is a local New Jersey restaurant that has the most amazing burgers. We're going to create our little short name here. Okay. And then, so you can either use a default setting, or once you set up your own profile, you can basically very easily copy from another profile. It saves you that much more time, because remember, the key is all about automation and scaling, especially as you're adding significant more clients. So we're going to hit submit here. The system is going to set up your profile. Now remember, for all of you who are using the white label version of our service, and so we do have a free version where it's really just a matter of setting up your own subdomain or domain that'll point to your own website and brand. That is what's going to be the review funnel for these clients. So, you know, you're top of mind. You're going to see, instead of Grade Us here, you're going to see whatever subdomain or domain is set up. You see the very simple layout here. Here's the segmentation. So we're just going to go right over to setup. We're going to switch over to the big button, so we go directly to the Google that we want to. We're going to come right back over to our links, and we are going to connect a location. So look how easy this is. You go to the connect a location, you type in your business, Rocky Hill Inn. There it is right there, popping up. Okay, looks good. Continue. It's going to give you, in this first setup, the top 7 sites. So these are the 3 major sites of Google, Facebook, Yelp, and then it's going to cover all the directory sites. So we do that, we go to Rocky Hill Inn, and then right away, it's very easily just populates. So it brings it in there, you'll see the Google options, and then right now you have that link that'll be able to generate the reviews. So we'll go in there, we'll remove the other sites. So now we just have Google as our go-to, and as you can see, if I click here, it gives you the instructions. So people, you know, because sometimes people don't know how to write a review. So here it makes it very easy for your clients' customers to leave the review on Google. Really simplifies the process, takes them right over to their Google My Business listing. And look, I'm already have it right here where I can just click my 5 stars and leave a great review, you know, upload a photo. So it's that simple. We have the profile set up. Now you can do any sort of customization of the content. Like if you want to change any of this written copy here, and also you'll be able to put your own brand in the footer there as well. So in the setup, you can actually change that and just put your power by and then put your own custom power by, however you want that to be. Or you can just remove it all together. So really easy, took a few minutes. We've got our system set up. Naturally, if you down the line after you close this client and they become a customer and you want to add all of the other industry specific review sites, it's really easy to do that as well. But we're just focusing on Google right now. So the point that Jeff brought up was the whole idea of, you know, what do you need? And that is a list of your customers' names and emails or phone numbers. So in order to start sending out those review request invitations, you just come right over to the review request. You have your CSV. We're going to put in our name of who the emails are going to come from, you know, because you want to make sure that you are personable and that you know that they know the business that the email is coming from. So we'll do support@rockyhill.com. And then you can have a reply email. The nice thing is for the customers, if they do get any sort of replies to these emails, you know, it does go right back to them. So we continue the email setup, and you will see the 3 email 7-day template that we're going to modify quickly for the 5-day proof of concept. So that's all the setup. You'll see that we have under emails here, we have all of these templates that are really, you know, simple and straightforward. They just say, Thanks for choosing the business name, which is Rocky Hill. It comes right in there based on the business name that you set up in the first place. I'd like to personally invite you to share your experience. Your feedback not only helps us, it helps other potential customers. It takes only a moment and would mean the world to us. They click that button, it takes them to the review funnel, straight to Google. Now you'll see there are 3 emails here, but the whole thing is customizable, which is great. So you can choose the days you want. And once you have this initial system in place, then you can just duplicate this profile. So say for instance, we only want to do for the 5-day proof of concept, we're going to remove the 3rd email and we're going to change the 2nd email to day 4. Because we do want to make sure that we give people the chance to leave the reviews before you go back to your client and show them the results. So at the end of that, you're going to have all these great Google reviews that have come in. Once you get that list of 30, 60, 90 customers, the way you're going to add that is by clicking this upload a CSV file, or XLSX for anyone who uses Excel. You'll just have it simply formatted with the name and the email address, or the name and the phone number, or even both. And then you upload that and that'll go automatically and start activating your recipients to receive that first email immediately. And then a few days later, that's when they receive the 2nd email. And you'll be able to come in here and just check for yourself, the activity. Are they opening the emails? Are they clicking through? Are they going all the way to Google? You'll be able to see all that information right here. So that's good for you to bring to that final conversation with the client when you're ready to close. Now we also have the phone text, which is really easy to set up. You just add that. And the great thing with the text is, because we're all working with our local clients, you can actually add a personalized phone number that you'll receive from Grade Us. You choose the area code, and then it'll find an available number that's based in that location. So, when we all do receive our robocalls and our phone calls that we screen, if you see a number that comes from a business that you recognize, especially via text, you're that much more likely to click the link, go to the review funnel, and leave the positive review. And then finally, going back to the closing meeting at the end of the 5 days, you're going to see all the reviews populate. And so it's going to pull it in, and you're going to be able to report to the client. So I just did this one. You can see this is actually kind of a perfect client or prospect, because they only have 1 Google review. They have a 3-star rating. And when you think about what Jeff was saying, most customers want to visit at least a 4-star rating business before, they even consider using them. So, right now, seeing only 1 review and 3 stars for this Kentucky Rocky Hill Inn restaurant, chances are they're not going to go and visit that business. So after the 5 days, you get this up to 10, 15, 20 reviews, depending on how many customers that they generate for you, and you up the star rating a little bit. I mean, if you get it above 4 stars, it's going to be easier because you have such a low volume quantity of reviews here. That client's most likely going to, seal the deal. And as Jeff mentioned as well, one of the key aspects with review management in general is the recency of the reviews matter. So even when that 5 days is up, he's going to talk a little bit more about that, but it's a recurring process. There's a value of continually getting reviews from these customers. So that's pretty much the standard, free 5-day proof of concept of how we're going to use this review site. For most of you who are customers, there are a bunch of other bells and whistles that you can start using for retention as you build out the customers once they're signed, whether that's sharing the positive reviews on Facebook, sharing the positive reviews on Twitter, being able to respond to reviews, all these great details. But when it comes to this initial selling, as Jeff mentioned, it's really about getting those first Google reviews in the first 5 days. So I'll send it back over to Jeff to kind of take through the last part, and then we will take some Q&A.
Awesome. I'll pop this up right now. Let's just see. Sure. I think I should be able to see my screen. All right. You guys see the let's see it in action slide, Garrett?
Yep, looks great.
Awesome. All right. So let's talk about what we've covered so far. First of all, part 1. How to leverage a digital service that is not optional for business. We're talking about is online reviews. It is not optional in our space anymore. If you're a digital agency, this is a key component to your business. Part 2, how we can guarantee a yes from almost every business owner by positioning and framing this 5-day proof of concept where you're leveraging the law of reciprocity. You're giving them something and showing them results in advance. And that comes into part 3 of how to easily qualify and convert a prospect. Can they get you the 3 things, or the 1 thing that you need, and can you answer the yes to those 3 questions? And then part 4, Garrett just walked you guys through how simple it is to leverage technology to automate most or all of the process. And with Grade.us, you can create 1 template and then just copy that over and over again. So you can be putting in multiple, basically, trials a week and then converting the ones that are actually seeing the results from there. And this is a great platform and a great system to be able to do that and use and leverage for the 5-day proof of concept. So in part 5, as we go and roll to the last end of this last bit, how to use this to build recurring revenue and scale. Well, when we talk about the online space and digital agencies offering digital services to local businesses, unfortunately, a lot of people don't do what they're teaching. Fortunately for you guys here on this call, myself and Zach both have digital agencies and we're selling to local business owners. We built a platform around that, and Grade.us did the same. And obviously we've aligned as we've set up. So we know what the overall objections are. We know what the business owners are going to say, and we've tweaked this over the last 5+ years now to be able to get that. Now, type into the chat box. You guys have gone through the first 4 parts of this. I'm going to show you guys how to turn this into recurring revenue. But I want to know, how much do you think you should charge? How much do you think you should charge for a white glove service like this? How much upfront, per month, or whatever? Type it into the chat box. I'll give you guys just a few seconds here as it pops up. So, all right. I can't see. There we go. As they come in. Whoops. Back a pencil. I didn't see it back. There we go.
Okay, I can read it out to you, Jeff. We got a couple of ones.
Go ahead.
$129 per month, $200 per month, $195 per month, $995 to $1,200 a year.
Okay, all of those are good answers. You guys are undervaluing yourselves, and here's why. You're offering a white glove service. That is $200 to $300 a month for what you're doing, because you're generating the more reviews and you're generating more business, and you're doing all the work for them. Yes, it's easy on this side. That's the black box. That's the system, the quote unquote system that everything's going in and out of. You are leveraging that for them, and you're doing all the work. All you need from them is a list of recent customers every Friday or every Thursday to be able to send out. And you get that, you can put it in the black box, let the black box do the work, and you're basically uploading it in the system. This is like $200 to $300 a month service. So if you're at $199, $299, yeah, if you want to do the annual plan and discount them down, you're a little bit on the low side, I would say, but you guys can offer that service, know what your margins are, and set up. But I can tell you right now, we have dozens of agencies, if not more, that are charging $200 to $300 a month, probably 100 agencies doing this, where they're using the proof of concept and everything is built around what we just showed you today, using system very similar to what Garrett just showed you to charge $200 to $300 a month. That should be your window. You can start at $299 and come down for a sale for $199 if need be, and anchor that price up at $300 and run a deal or something along those lines. But you remember, you're doing all the work for them. They're just getting new Google alerts that they're getting new positive reviews into their system. So that's how you're going to position this. And you want to make sure that you charge what your value is. Don't let other people tell you that your value is not at that level, because what you're doing for a business owner is at that level. So here's how to set this thing up where it's a very simple strategy for you. And we're going to show you how to position that proof of concept where it's setting you up for success every single time. Our very simple strategy allows you to pre-qualify the business, right? We talked about it. Are they easy to deal with? Are they calling you nonstop? Or are they able to actually listen to you on a regular basis and basically get you the one thing that you need? It allows you to successfully close and retain their business because you're leveraging the law of reciprocity. You're literally giving them something in that trial, in that period of high value, and then to continue it on, it's only $200 or $300 a month for them. For you, it takes just minutes per week to fulfill per location. One of the guys that we talked to when we started pushing this out, we were doing 7 days, he was doing 5 days at the time, and we've kind of aligned the two plans with this is, You can do an outsourcer. You can create and even automate this process where an API is doing this, or you're just uploading it. You can have somebody do it, Thursday, morning in your office. Just call up the business owner or send out an automatic email to go out to be able to get that list back to upload it. It's very, very light work for you, for high value for the business owner. And the really cool part about the proof of concept, I'm doing this in my agency right now, is it allows and affords you the opportunity to convince a business owner to give you a try. Even if they're using another agency, another platform, or corporate giving them something else, because it costs them nothing. This is a no-risk trial to them. You're going to prove your worth, and you'll be able to get your foot in the door. And if you can get them better results than somebody else is doing with your concept, then there you go. You've now proven that you can do a better job, and then you can basically bring them into your fold underneath your agency. Key factor in all of this, and this is how we were able to grow our business so successfully, is less is more. A lot of people create these complicated funnels and all this other things. We're going to follow up with this part here. Don't overcomplicate your sales process. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate the review asking process. Keep it simple. Like day 1, day 3 or 4 works well, because you're not going to email a customer every single day or do a follow-up. Just keep it simple. You learn about the client and validate if they're worth working with. So if you are working with a client and they're calling you every day, or you can't get them results, it's not a client that's worth working with. You want to learn about them. You want to ask them questions about their business. So if you're in this model and you're now sitting down after the 5-day proof of concept and you've gotten them reviews, this is when you just ask them a few pointed questions. And this is all depending on the package that you want to offer, social, you want to add in the social sharing, or if you want to set up something else inside the Great Us system with all the bells and whistles. Have them tell you about their business and just listen. Figure out what's important to them. If reviews are important to them and you're getting them reviews, they're going to be handing you a check. They're going to be swiping their card right there for you on the spot. But if there's some other things that are key factors, we're really big on Facebook. Well, I can take those positive reviews and share them on your Facebook page. How would you like to have your most recent raving customers pop up on your biggest online asset, which to you is your Facebook page, correct? Yeah, I can do that for you. Let me show you how, and you walk them through. But listen to the business owners and see if they're able to help you get going and set up. Now, your goal is to get results in advance by creating online reviews. That's it. It's simple. That's the only thing we're looking to do here. The way we do that is we recommend in our system using yes, no. Yes, no question. Are you happy with your recent visit? Yes or no. You can do it with 1 to 5 stars as well. But for us, it's simply yes, no. And we tell them, look, we do everything for you. The only thing you need to do is provide us with the name, email, and cell phone of your customers. If they're unable to do that, or they don't have a list of recent customers, they can potentially start gathering them, and you can come back in a month and see if they do it. If not, then there's nothing you can do. And then you let them know, hey, after this, we'll sit down in 5 days. It is absolutely free today. Remind them, hey, look, it's absolutely free today. We are going to set this up. There's no risk to you. Let us try it out and see what happens. It's a very, very simple strategy, guys. It allows you to pre-qualify the business where you can successfully close and retain their business because you're getting those results on a regular basis. It takes just minutes per week to fulfill per location, and it allows you to scale. And it even allows you that opportunity to convince business owners to give you a try if they're even using a competitor of yours. So let's go over the QA part, Garrett. I know there's a lot of questions that have come in. I can see that there are some. I can't quite see them because of how I'm sharing my screen. But do you want to pull up a couple questions or maybe answer them as we go?
Yeah, absolutely. Start off, and I think Jeffrey here had a great question about actually finding the new clients. So, you mentioned some great ideas in terms of your local chamber and doing your events. What are some other ways, if people aren't doing events right away, that they can actually find prospects to pitch?
A lot of things like the Chamber of Commerce and those type of guys are really good because you can go to a networking group or things like that. But if you don't want to get out of your house, you can reach out to a business cold, and you can literally go out and ask them through cold email, hey, can you handle 5 new leads per week? Or, are you looking for new clients? Or if you're talking to a doctor or a dentist, are you accepting new patients? You can ask them those type of questions to get a cold email reply that would say yes or no, or yeah, we're more into looking for clients right now. And then what you do is you then spin that second reply back to you and say, hey, look, we're able to get you results. If you'd like, I can show you minutes of your time, and then you schedule one of those days.
Gotcha. I think we missed you. Yeah, we will definitely have the recording available for everybody, so no problem there. Question that came up from Eric is, how can reviews be quantified into leads for the customer? So if you have a more advanced customer who wants like those types of metrics, how do you typically approach that?
So with us, it's, hey, look, if you're showing up, we leverage it to where your position on Google is, right? And people are looking at the most recent real results. If you're at the top, you want to stay at the top. So you're going to do anything to stay at the top. That means generate more reviews that are recent and real and relevant. If you're not, by doing this, we're going to help boost your overall ranking. The higher you are in the pack, the higher you are on the overall organic search. That's going to show you that you have the ability, or that's going to show that client that you can get them up there and go. So you basically talk about where they're going to do on the search side, not necessarily, hey, where are you at when it comes to, I got 20 reviews or 40 reviews, things like that. Another thing that I talk about is I go back to that Bright Local survey that we put up earlier, and I'll say, hey, look, you're sitting at 3.9 or 4.2. If a customer comes to look at you, what are the chances that if you're at 4.7 and your competitor's at 4.2, who do you think you would call first to be able to get into basically get into their sales funnel or to be a prospect? So I make sure it's highly important to understand what they're looking for, and that's what that little consultative piece of it is after you've gotten them the reviews, because you want them excited. A lot of people walk in with, we're going to go try to cold pitch them and show them that we can generate them reviews and sell them reviews. You're not selling them reviews at this point. You're selling them a 5-day proof of concept to let me show you that I can get you results with this. And then if you would like this to continue, this is what it is. So you can really simplify and dumb it down to, if you'd like what I just did for you for the last week to continue on, this is what the cost is per month. And then the secondary and tertiary results of getting you ranked, having higher scores, having recent reviews will all compound above that. But you really got to keep it down to one simple thing and make sure that you keep them focused on that laser focus of what your one piece to this puzzle is, which is, I'm going to show you that I can get your reviews in the next 5 days. We'll talk about it after that. That's when you can then, in this case with Grade.us, bring in the report, show them what they look like, and you can pull in the other aspects. But that's where it becomes consultative, Garrett. And it also comes to where you're basically asking them questions and having them talk about your business and open up some of those key points that maybe you weren't aware of in their business or set up. Because you can go to a car dealership and they're selling 150, let's just say they're selling 150 cars per month. That's just a couple per day, a handful per day, and they all do that. All right, so you're a car dealership and you're selling 150 per month. How many reviews are you generating a month? Oh, we're generating 20. Well, what happened to the other 130? If you have 17,000 reviews online in the next couple of years versus your competitor that has 50 reviews, there's a huge difference there. And people will know that you're actively working with your customers. So it really boils down to the industry, who you're talking to, and getting them into the 5-day proof of concept, and then getting yourself into the conversation to understand their business and what they really want and their underlying reasons. And that's part of being a digital agency and understanding that you're consulting with what digital services you offer are best for them.
That's a great point. It actually leads into the next question, Jeff, which is, and I'm going to kind of recontext this. It's an anonymous one, but it's just, they said they have a client for the last few months who hasn't seen positive results. Are some clients just not a good fit for the service? And since you slightly addressed that, I take a little further of like, at what point do you, say goodbye to the client? Like, at what point do you realize, the client isn't going to be happy with the results, and, maybe they're using other services, maybe they're not. How would you handle that situation and when?
It's up to you and your business and your bottom line, right? If taking a ton of your time and not adding to your bottom line is killing your margins. If they're paying you a huge amount, like $1,000, $2,000 a month, and they're just complaining once in a while, I would continue on to see if you can find different ways to get them results. Maybe try a different angle. But that's a different story. Your margin's huge there. It's kind of an it depends answer, right? It depends on the individual situation of you in your business and what you're willing to put up with. In the 5-day proof of concept, it's literally, are they easy to work with? Can they get me this list, and can I get them results? Those are the 3 things I look for. And as long as they're easy to work with and we can do this, then it's hands off. When it starts to become difficult, where they're no longer easy to work with, then it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's hard for agencies when you're trying to fill out your client roster, but I think the reality of it is helps everyone in the long run.
Yeah, you early on, if you're an agency with less than 5 or 6 clients, you don't want to lose one, because you're losing 20%, 18% of your business, right? You don't want to lose that. It's a hard decision, but sometimes getting rid of that one opens up the door for so much more, because you've got mental blocks, you've got things that are in your mind, you've got prejudice that this is going to be the way my customers are. You get rid of that one pain in the butt customer, and you get 1 or 2 really cool ones, your business is going to start to continue to grow and take off, because now your perspective of who your client is not a pain in the butt. It's somebody that's actually easy to work with, and you want more of those.
I agree. It's so good. We're getting a lot of great questions now too. It's always like, as we get towards the end, I want to answer all of them, but let's do a little rapid fire as we get towards the end of the session. HIPAA, what's the best way to work with medical professionals?
Make sure that the platform you have has HIPAA compliance and is HIPAA compliant. And what we say is, look, if you are giving us the customer's name, email, phone number, and we're putting them in the system, we can do it through an API that passes it, but figure out what that compliance looks like for that particular business. We don't know if all you have is their name, email, and phone number. If they start putting the information out there, then obviously they're putting their information out there, but not you. But that's kind of a tricky one to make sure that it's the industry that you're working with, what the regulations are, obviously, what data you have of the client passing, and then obviously for Grade.us, what that platform looks like, what you guys have as your own HIPAA compliance inside of that. So that it's one where I can't really speak on behalf of another platform. So talk to, obviously, the business, talk to the attorney if you have to, and see what the platform itself has for HIPAA regulations and what they store and what they don't do and all that kind of stuff. So unfortunately, I can't speak too deep into that one.
Beautiful. No worries. I mean, it's that's why the industry is tricky. It is regulated. You have to follow the guidelines, but a lot of it is doing your own due diligence. So real quick, Michael asked about review gating. I know with Grade.us, we have, like we were showing, the direct to Google workflow that doesn't sort of separate or gate the different customers. But what do you say to review gating? What are your thoughts on it?
It's follow the Google compliance. You're on Google, so follow their terms.
Exactly.
It really hasn't affected. Look, if you're going to play with that platform, follow their rules. Don't get yourself or your business in trouble. You could probably work around it, but there's no reason to. Play by the rules, and that helps you with your customers too. Don't play where you send one to Google and one not. At least leave Google as an option. Most customers that are negative, that leave feedback, they are not going to go to Google and complain. They're going to hope that the business owner gives them a reply and go from there. We very rarely see a case where we would even care about review gating, because most customers that would leave a negative review are going to do it whether you ask them for feedback or not. Right. And then that's what review monitoring is for. The other component, one of the other pillars of this, when you offer a package. So follow Google, what their compliance is, and meet the rules. That's our stance on it.
Beautiful. And in terms of the social media that you mentioned, we were asking about white glove service. How do you incorporate the social media sharing for them without having access to the back-end dashboard? I'm not sure how RepLoop works, but he wants to know, wouldn't you need their login credentials? And to that, Michael, yeah, you would need to get the client's login credentials. How would you handle that sort of situation, Jeff, if you're still on? Would you even address in the 5-day proof of concept, or wait till you've closed them?
No, I don't do it. That's that when we talked about social and adding those additional things, that's in your consultative meetup after the 5 days, after you've gotten them results, and they say, then you're listening to them. You're going to need to get their login or have them add you as an admin to a page to connect, or get the login to connect and then be out and have them change. It's that you can't log back in, but that's part of the package on the back end, and that's an additional upsell or something that could get you to a close or something along those lines. So that's the important piece about that, is that's after you've proven the concept. Singular focus, narrow road, blinders on for the 5-day proof of concept. You are literally basically saying, we can generate more reviews for your business. Give us 5 days and we'll prove it to you. Like, that is it. We generate online reviews for local businesses. Give us 5 days and we'll prove it. That's all you have to do. Don't do anything else in this project. I mean, that's how simple it is. Yeah. Like, once you want to do all that other stuff, that's in the consultative piece, and that's part of you and your packages and what you want to do, and have those preset to know what Grey.us can do and what you have available to you. So when they say those things, it piques your interest and triggers the ability for you to talk about that in your sales process.
And most of our agencies, and I'm sure this is the case with you, the digital services agencies have other services that you're eventually going to get to when you have that consultative process. So, that's when you bring up the SEO, the social media, the other services that are complemented by review management. That's where you go there after.
Yep, that usually can come in the 30, 60, 90-day window too, because if they're, if you get them the reviews and all of a sudden you're offering them $1,000 package, you're like, whoa. Like, I didn't want to ask you, sell them what they just got proof of, and then prove your worth, and then upsell them the next package. Or they'll come to you and say, hey, can you do this? And then, in the process, if they're asking you those questions, hey, can you do this? Then yes, or no, or we can find your solution to their problems.
Yeah. Last couple questions. What are your top 3 industries that you like for this service?
Dental was a big one because Zach had a bunch of dentists in there. Automotive was a huge one for us. And then, obviously, chiropractors are always good. Anything with a high churn. So I would say dentists, automotive, and then home services was a really good one. So I have a lot of pest control that I ran, and they ran this hard and saw a lot of reviews come in. So those are the 3. So home services, dental, and automotive are the 3 major industries. If I were starting out, here's the other thing too. If you know people in different industries, like somebody in the insurance industry or the real estate industry or things like that, and you have an in to get in front of people to speak, don't not go to those guys, because that is a way to get yourself in as an authority. But if I was starting over and knew nothing and had 0 connections, those would be the 3 I'd go after.
Great. Do you promote DIY and DIFM pricing on your website? What do you recommend with how you promote it?
It's done for you. Would be the key factor. What we found, and Zach and I learned this over the last several years, is we've given them logins. We've had their office manager do it and say that they're uploading lists and stuff like that, but when they're not, we actually built into our system to be able to tell if they were actually logging in or not, or doing it. And we can say that, hey, look, the doctor can call you and say, we're not getting results. You guys are doing, we need to cancel your service. And it's like, well, your front desk hasn't been uploaded to customers, or they haven't logged in 2 months. Oh, no, they're telling me they're logged in. You're just not getting us results. Then we can show them that, hey, look, they didn't log in. Here's the proof. They haven't even uploaded a list in 2 months. And that promptly changed some attitudes. But that shows us that the do-it-yourself model is difficult to keep a client happy when all you have to do is this one simple thing a couple minutes a week. So we focus on the white glove done for you, where you can charge more, versus making a commodity where you're just getting a login, and if they do it, they do it. They don't, they don't. That's great if you want to do huge volume and don't really care about churn. But realistically, you guys are in a local space with your business owners, you're offering a digital service, you're going to want to do it for them. And it's not that hard. It's only a few minutes per week per location to just upload a list, and you're done. So
It's great. I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. Really appreciate the time of Jeff and Zach to come and share their expertise on working with various agencies and how they sell review management. Really appreciate it. Want to keep doing these webinars, having these Q&As at the end. If you do have any additional questions that we did not get to, feel free to email support@grade.us and I'll make sure it gets in front of Jeff and Zach, or I'll get an answer and get right back to you. Everybody have a great Friday and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks again, Jeff and Zach. Thanks again for everybody who joins us. This is Garrett signing off from Grade Us. Goodbye.